Hey guys, what's going on? This is Shadow, and today I'm going to be doing a deck profile of one of my less popular decks, and one that I don't play with as often, but it's still really fun to play with, is my Lyricalisc deck. I don't have too many cute decks. This is like probably the only cute deck that I have, but the fact that it's Winged Beast, I instantly was like interested in it because it's Winged Beast, and you guys know I love Winged Beast decks. I have like a bajillion of different decks of them. And it's cute because these are actually bird girls who all special summon each other, and they all start having ridiculous effects and potentially lock down the field, and yeah, your opponent can't do anything about it. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And before we do that, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video, and click that notification bell if you haven't yet, so that way you're notified of any deck profiles, any box openings, or anything that I do on this channel. And please comment on the comment section below. You guys know I love reading them. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started on the deck profile. And yeah, this is a really cool deck because it's just crazy how fun this is and how easy it is to play. And it's sad because Lulu, which was Arc V, if anyone knows or watches the series, was Shay Obsidian's, in the English dubbed, sister. And she didn't get a lot of screen time. She was always like with her brother and stuff though. And this was the deck that she played with. Well, sadly, they never really gave her any more support after the Lyricalisc sponsors came out, the original ones. So I kind of had to go based off of that. But you guys will still really enjoy it. So enough rambling. Let's go ahead and start with the first monster. Is going to be Lyricalisc Cobalt Sparrow. And when she's special summoned, I can add a level 1 Winged Beast type monster from my deck to my hand. We'll use in the effect once per turn. If I have a Wind Exceed monster, which is going to be Assembly Nightingale, was summoned using this card on the field as a material, makes the gain the following effect: your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. So what's really good about these bird girls are they're cheap and just dumb to use, because if they're in the graveyard and they're used as like material and stuff, just when they're used the material for the Exceed monsters, they start having really locked down effects and just really janky effects. Just effects that just it makes your opponent just facepalm because of how nerve-wracking it is and just how hard it is to get around. And they all swarm, so that's what makes it even worse. Then you got 3 copies of Lyricalisc Sapphire Swallow. So if you control a Winged Beast monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And she does the same thing. If you use this as an XYZ summon, you can target a Lyricalisc monster in my graveyard and attach it to this card as XYZ material. Then you've got 3 copies of probably one of my favorite ones. Sapphire is my favorite, but this is my next favorite one. Lyricalisc Turquoise Warbler. And if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. So yeah, you're starting to see a pattern. They all pretty much special summon each other. And unfortunately, you can only add this effect once per turn this way. I know I paused it for a second because I actually had to read that. I kind of always forget the other 2 have effects and she doesn't. But yeah, they pretty much swarm with each other. And that's what makes it just crazy because of how fast this deck can be. And they're all level 1. So it's like you're facing level 1 monsters. You don't really know how to react to it. And when they start bringing out like Ultimate Falcon, yes, you can bring Ultimate Falcon on in here in this deck. So easy that it's just dumb. Okay, then I've got 3 copies of Raid Raptor Lastrix. Now, no, this is not it's a Winged Beast. No, this is not a Lyricalisc. What you do with this card is, you have this card, put it on the field, and then tribute it to special summon an Exceed monster from your deck. It can't attack or anything, but what then you do is use a magic rank up to rank it up. And then that's how you can go from a level 8 to a level 10, or a level 6 to a level 8. And that's how you can bring out Ultimate Falcon. Then I've got 3 copies of Painlanius. If you have a Raid Raptor, like Lastrix other than it, you can special summon this card from your hand. This is a really good extender for the deck because you can use this for fodder. You can use this to set up for your Lyricalisc play, because Lyricalisc is in this deck. You can set this up for Assembly Nightingale to add more XYZ material, so it's really good. Then you've got 1 copy of Sonic Chick. It's the last Winged Beast in this deck. This is just annoying. I only have 1 in here anymore because I used to have 3 and that clogged the deck like horribly. Basically what he does is, if a monster attacks it that has 1900 or more, it can't be destroyed by battle. And you have a card in here that's called Egg Scramble, or Scramble Egg, which I'm going to show you. Makes it to where you activate it and you can special summon this from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So it's like you can't get rid of it. Alright, and then for the last monsters, I have 2 copies of Effective Veiler, so that way your opponent doesn't do any crazy stuff. And then 2 copies of Performapal Trump Witch, which can be used to search for polymerization or be used as a polymerization, using it for the pendulum effect. Alright, so that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's move on to the spells and traps. So you're going to run 3 polymerizations. You don't have to run 3. You can run 1 or 2. I run 3 just to make sure that I got it. This is set up for Independent Lyricalist Nightingale, or sorry, Lyricalist Independent Nightingale, my bad. And then 3 copies of Where Art Thou. Just be careful with this card. You can, if you control face-up level 1 monster, you can add a level 1 monster from your deck to your hand. Just make sure that you normal summon it, otherwise you do take 2,000 points of damage, but that's not too hard. As long as you play, your cards right, you can special summon a monster and then activate this card if it's in your hand, normal summon, and bypass the 2,000, but it's another way to add more level 1s to from your deck to your hand. And then 3 copies of Swallow's Nest in case I want a different monster, like say I want like Lastrix in my opening hand and I have a Lyricalist monster, or I have something I don't want to use. Contribute it, special summon a monster from your deck with the same level, and then you can go from there to exceed up to Ultimate Falcon. Okay, and then I've got 2 copies of Rank Up Magic Skip Force. This is what I was talking about. You can play Soul Shade Force or any of the other ones if you want, the ones that do rank 2. I just play these 2 because it's perfect. I only need 2, and on the first turn I can bring out Ultimate Falcon if I have this card and Lastrix in my hand, which is not hard to do. Okay, and then I've got 2 copies of Psychic Blade. Now this is a weird choice, but I'm going to explain why. Assembly Nightingale, as long as it has Exceed material, it can't be targeted by attacks if you detach an Exceed material from it. And what makes Assembly Nightingale so deadly in this deck is it gains attack by 200 times the number of Exceed monsters that it has. So it starts out with 400. Psychic Blade, you can pay up to 2,000, making Assembly Nightingale 2,400, and then attack twice, because it attacks the same amount as any number of times that you have Exceed material for it. So if you have the 2 materials still on it when you play Psychic Blade, and you can attack and do 4,800 damage if your opponent doesn't have anything, which is already more than half of their life points. And the next turn you can attack again for 2,200, which is really, really, really good. And a lot of people would never even think about playing this. I remember a long time ago, someone gave me this idea that I was watching the video, and I was like, hey, that's actually a really good idea. I'm actually going to try to play that. Then I've got 1 copy of 1 for 1. This just discard a level 1 monster to special summon a level 1 from your deck. That's all you need. If you need Lastrix or if you need a Lyricalist, this is a good way to get around it and get it. Then just a Lightning Vortex. You don't have to play this. You can play like a Dark Hole or a Geki or whatever. I'm just playing this in here because I had this lying around. Alright, so that's it for the spells and traps, guys. Let's move on to the traps. So I only played 5 in here. So you've got 3 copies of Scramble Egg. This is the one I was talking about. Monster you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect, which is everyone does that now. So obviously, you special summon a Sonic Shake from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So it comes back up to 3 times. And obviously, everyone's playing high-level monsters, and they're not going to be able to get it off the field. So it becomes really annoying. It's a really good lockdown card because they're using the resources, using their negates and their everything that you can on all your other cards, and then you bring this out, like the last thing that you do, they're going to get frustrated because they're like, I can't get this off the field. This thing is 19. This thing cannot be destroyed by battle. So then I've got 2 copies of Icarus Attack. This is just a personal choice. Tribute a Winged Beast monster, which the majority of this deck is, and then target 2 cards on the field and destroy them. Alright, that's it for the spells and traps. Let's just move on to the extra deck. So we've got 3 copies of, if I can get the other one in here, there we go. Get the one over there. 3 copies of Lyricalisc Independent Nightingale. Now she is different because she'll do burn damage. She's unaffected by card effects, and once per turn I can inflict damage to my opponent equal to this card level times 500. So she can do, she does really, it's a good way to lock your opponent down, and she does do really good burn damage. So if you're attacking your opponent and they're using her, they're getting double damage done, direct damage and actual battle damage. And then the heart card in this deck, one of the best cards in this deck, Assembly Nightingale. This is the one I was talking about. It's times 400 or times 200 for every blink material that's used for it. So it can be 2 or more level 1 monsters. So keep in mind, guys, you don't have to use just the 2. If you've got 5 monsters on the field, You want to use all 5 level 1s? You can, and you can make this thing 1,000. It can attack 5 times. Then with Psychic Blade, makes it 2 extra 1,000 attacks. You've got a 3,000 monster that can attack 5 times. So do the math. That's way over 9,000. Alright, then you've got 3 copies of Recital Starling. I don't play this card that often. It's still a really good card. Just requires 2+ level 1 monsters. And if it succeeds summon, I can target a face-up monster on the field, and it gains 300 attack for each material attached to it. Once per turn, it can attach a material and add a level 1. So she's good for searching and just good for pumping up your Lyricalisc even more if you have Assembly Nightingale. So yeah, she is good, but more than likely you're not going to be using her as much. Mostly you're going to be focusing on Independent and Assembly if you're wanting to use the other Lyricalisc monsters. Alright, so then I've got Revolution Falcon, Satellite Cannon Falcon, and Ultimate Falcon. And these guys are just crazy, and it's just so dumb. I can't believe how easy it is to bring these things out. So what you do basically is, let me bring out the card for you so you can see. You have Last Strix. You tribute Last Strix, and you special summon from your deck in defense position. Its effect is going to be negated. You special summon a Satellite Cannon Falcon. Then, if you in your hand, if you have rank up Magic Skip Force, you play Skip Force, and then you bring out Ultimate Falcon and overlay the Satellite with it. So yeah, that's the easiest way, and probably by far the easiest way to get Satellite, or to get Ultimate Falcon out on the field. I mean, it's just ridiculous how easy it is, and it's just, you guys know how annoying it is. It's so hard to get off the field, so hard to get rid of, so yeah. And last 2 cards, just one baby, or last 3 cards, one baby Trigon. I only have one in here just because it does only require 3 level 1 monsters, and I can target a level 1 monster under my control and can attack your opponent directly. So if you want to continue attacking more other than Assembly Nightingale, you can totally do that if you have this card in your on the field. Topicalic Bomber Dragon, you can use like Borreload Dragon if you want. I'm just using this because I don't mind my stuff being destroyed. And then last but not least, Link Karibo for those level 1 plays. You have Link Karibo, you have a level 1, you contribute that, and you can bring this thing back, and this thing, remember, the monsters take no battle damage and stuff. Alright, so that's it for the deck profile, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was a lot of fun. I love this deck because of how easy it is to just overwhelm your opponent. A lot of people don't expect level 1 monsters to just keep attacking directly, and they're not able to do anything about it, because if you've got Assembled Nightingale, and you've got a Psychic Sword or Psychic Blade, and you're attacking, your opponent's getting attacked, they don't really know what to do. Plus, a deck like this, a lot of people will get confused on because they're not going to be reading the cards, and a lot of them don't know what to negate. So they may end up wasting their resources on the unnecessary cards, and then completely getting rid of, like, not even bothering with, like, Last Strix, and then, bam, you've got an Ultimate Falcon on the field, and they don't know what to do with it. Plus, they're evil because of how easy it is to overwhelm just with these level 1s. It's just so funny. Alright, that's it for this deck profile, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a blast to show you this deck because I love it. It's fun to play with. It's annoying. And the fact that, I mean, it's Mo Bird Girls. Like, that's all there is to it. You can't say anymore. Alright, well, that's it for this deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And with that, see you guys next time. Later.